Good morning. So this is related to aging world, elderly people. So there are, as you already know, there will be several essays which are related to aging, aged populations. So some vocabularies and that how exactly we need to use these words. So aging world, and so likewise you can even use this like how to write a essay, like a example sentence, research sentence. So that will be we will be looking even that. The UN predicts as the UN predicts over the UN predicts over 60s. How to write 60s? Okay, so how we can say old people, elderly, aged. There are some more vocabularies, we will look into that later. The UN predicts, so one way method is over 60s will outnumber will be more, will outnumber under 15s by 2050. So once again, the UN predicts over 60s will outnumber under 15s by 2050. In a startling, what is this meaning of startling? Startling means surprising. Startling means surprising and sometimes worrying. So that is known as startling report. Startling results. He made some startling admissions about his past. So in a startling report titled Aging in the 21st century, a celebration and a challenge. See, it's written in a colon. See, aging population in the 21st century, a celebration. It's a celebration as well as a challenge. In case if you have to write some topics, headlines at that time in essays, not all exams need, some exams need, at that time you can go for aging in the 21st century or like a celebration and a challenge. A celebration and a challenge. The UN revealed that the number of people over 60 is set to hit, see, is set to hit 2 billion, will increase, rather than saying that set to hit 2 billion by 2050. And the number of centenarians, what do you mean by this? So centenarian means someone who is 100 years old or more. So I told you we can say elderly, old age people, centenarian, then aged, ageist. What do you mean by ageist? So ageist means they are not old age people. Treating people unfairly because of their age, that is known as ageist. An ageist remark and ageist job advertisement. Very few companies are maliciously ageist. Okay, ageist means they treat the people unfairly because of their age. So against age, right? Now just I am looking for the vocabulary. Elderly, which means meaning old people. Aged, aging. Okay. Getting on. Getting on means it's an informal way of saying that someone is old is to use the phrase be getting on. He is getting on, he is aging. Okay, he is getting on in years, he will soon be 80. Geriatric, it used to talk about medicine, services, etc. It's a common word used in the letters for old people and is an okay. Geriatric medicine. Who is going to elect a geriatric president? Next is old, who is old is over the hill. I am only 40, you know, I am not over hill, I am not aged. Okay, I am not over the hill. So over the hill means aged. Now senility. Senility means the quality of being senile, which means showing poor mental ability because of old age. So if in old age, if they are like a unhealthy, that is known as senility or being senile. Okay. Low levels of selenium in the elderly, salinity, senile, selenium in the elderly are linked with an increased risk of dementia and salinity. The hormone can damage brain cells and lead to premature senility. Okay. So why we discuss that? Because centenarians, it means old age people, means above 100, is set to rise nearly tenfold to 3 millions. Population aging is a byproduct. It's a byproduct. Okay, it's a result of the demographic related to the place. Demographic transition in which both mortality and fertility decline from higher to lower mortality fertility rate. Currently, the total fertility rates is below replacement levels in virtually means almost all industrialized, so industrialized, westernized, industrialized countries. So next is, as life expectancy increases across the planet thanks to, see, it's a common way of saying, thanks to welcome advances in healthcare and rising economic prosperity. It is imperative that countries start preparing now so that they can so in the conclusion sense you can use this. Okay, it is imperative that the countries start preparing now so that they can adequately care for their overseas in the years to come, in the future. So they need to start preparing now. The social and economic implications of population aging are profound. So it's a deep, and nations across the world will be affected in unprecedented ways. What do you mean by that? So unprecedented means never having or happened or existed. So it didn't happen in the past. This century has witnessed environmental destruction on an unprecedented scale. So unprecedented ways or unprecedented scales. For example, there will be major challenges for nations in areas like healthcare and pensions. So mostly pension is a common problem. Okay, developing countries especially need to start preparing as projections. What do you mean by projections? So projections means calculations. Okay, so good vocabulary to replace at the time of in place of calculation. A calculation augurs about the future based on information that you have. The company has failed to achieve last year's sales calculation by 30%. Okay. Developing countries especially need to start preparing as projections show 80% of the world's elderly will live in less developed regions by 2050. The UN also predicts a very large increase in age-related chronic disease across the world. In a few decades, the loss of health worldwide will actually be greater from So non-communicable, the problems of age related problems, non-communicable or chronic disease, which means cardiovascular disease, cancer, arthritis, then there is a comparison, than from infectious disease for the first time in history. So definitely there are some vocabulary which are good. Aging world, centenarians, then demographic transition, byproduct. So industrialized countries, developed country, industrialized country, overcities, outnumber, startling report. Any example you can write this. As life expectancy increases across the planet thanks to welcome advances in healthcare and rising economic prosperity. Okay, adequately care. In the years to come, unprecedented ways. Projections means calculations. Age related illness. Infirmity means it's a illness especially for the long periods or because of old age. Okay, salinity we have studied, right? Salinity. Poor mental ability because of old age, like that. Here that was senility means it is related to poor mental ability. Here it is infirmity. Infirmity means it's related to illness for long periods or because of old age. She suffered from a long list of infirmities. The synonyms are debility, frailty, weakness. Debility, frailty, weakness. So this is a Bible verse. The path of the righteous is level. You, the upright one, make the way of the righteous smooth. So you can keep this Bible verse and say like this. If you are thinking your path is crooked or you are not seeing any way out of where you are, then ask God for making my path righteous. Making my path level and smooth. So your path should be leveled and it should be smooth because I am righteous in Jesus' name. Okay, so that's the that's the way that you are supposed to pray if you want a blessing. Thank you.